Just how many sanctions has the West imposed on Russia? From oil and gas to microchips and electronics, the US, the UK and the EU have tried to choke critical supplies to Russia. But are those sanctions even working? A joint study by American and Ukrainian experts claims they are not. Take a look. It reveals that Russia continues to import large amounts of goods needed for military production. Of all the Russian weapons that Ukraine has found on the battlefield, 95% were made using foreign components. It's no small number. Nearly 2,800 foreign parts have been documented. Some 2,000 of them from Ukraine's best friend, the US. And it's not just the US. You see, when Russia invaded Ukraine, a global coalition was formed, and this coalition imposed unprecedented sanctions on Russia. Who are its members? The US, the UK, EU members, Japan, and South Korea, among others. These countries wanted to basically limit Moscow's access to foreign goods and money, so they banned exports to Russia. But it seems like the coalition is failing to do the needful. The sanctions are not working. 72% of the foreign parts found in the Russian weapons were from the US alone. 5% were from Japan, 1% from the UK. What are these components exactly, and what are they used for? Well, let me tell you, they are mostly communications equipment, semiconductors or microchips, computer parts, navigation systems and sensors, automotive components, and other electronics. Russia has imported some $31 billion worth of these high-priority electronics. Yes, despite the sanctions, they are used for making Russian missiles, drones, armored vehicles, among various other systems. And according to the report, in the first 10 months of 2023, nearly 44% of the imported tech was manufactured by companies headquartered in the US and its allies. And which firms are these? Analog Devices, Advanced Micro Devices, and Texas Instruments are some big names. When the US has halted exports to Russia, how exactly are these goods even reaching there? Via third parties. You see, ever since the sanctions have been imposed, supply chains also have adapted. The American goods first reach intermediate countries, mostly China, Turkey, the UAE, and from there they are sold and dispatched to Russia. You see, the expectations were that the sanctions would hamper the sophistication of Russia's military equipment. But if anything, Russia's capacity to produce missiles and drones appears to have improved in the year 2023. So has the construction for advanced infrastructure? Satellite images have revealed new Russia facilities dedicated to aircraft repair, missile production, drone assembly, and other military purposes. The overwhelming use of foreign tech in Russian weapons pointing towards two things, basically. Number one, Moscow has not been able to find alternative suppliers for these goods. And number two, there are major loopholes in the sanctions and export controls. And it's not just the exports, by the way. The US has also been lax about tracking the aid that it has sent to Ukraine. Over $1 billion worth of shoulder-fired missiles, kamikaze drones, night vision goggles are unaccounted for. I'm not the one saying that. The Pentagon has made these revelations. We are talking about 40,000 weapons here. By law, they should have been closely monitored, given their impact on the battlefield. Sensitive technology, relatively small size, but American defense officials cannot account for them. So, just where did these weapons even go? Were they stolen? Were they smuggled? Will they end up in the hands of terrorist organizations? Well, the US does not know. It's not even investigating if any weapons have been diverted for illicit use. And why is that? It says it is beyond the scope of evaluation. And guess what? In the last 1 decade, the US has sent military equipment worth $50 billion to Ukraine. The number of weapons that have been reviewed is a very small fraction of that. And these revelations come at a time when the Congress is split over spending or over sending more military aid to Ukraine. President Zelensky says it would be difficult, if not impossible, for Ukraine to survive if the aid packages continue to be blocked. But what is even the use if the aid is not going to be properly tracked? If it's only going to end up in the wrong hands, then why even bother sending it at all? WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.